Thank you.
Alrighty, thanks, Savannah. So just again, you guys, we want to welcome you to our Monday night paint class. We want to give a big thank you to Michaels for allowing us to be here and to give you a little bit of inspiration and to do a super fun class with you all and kind of welcome in the coming of spring. And I want to tell you guys, we are going to do a giveaway tonight. So make sure to drop all your questions and all your comments in the comment section tonight. And that way we can pick randomly a giveaway.
And you'll be winning some of the supplies you need to paint this painting.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jesse, it looks like we lost the front-facing video.
Oh, okay. Hold on a second.
Okay, so maybe we'll switch over to the overhead just while we're figuring that out. And Jesse, if you want to get started, and I'll come in there and give you a hand.
It's back, it's back.
Oh,
Okay, cool.
There we go.
okay.
Let me just prop this up. Looks like the charger is getting pulled out for some reason. So it was telling me that I had 20% battery left, but I should have plenty left. Yeah, it's charging. Okay.
Okay.
Let's see. We're good. We're good. But yeah, we have the overhead. So I mean, that's the most important. So everybody can see the painting.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, since we are going to be switching over to the overhead now, I will go ahead and let you guys know what supplies we'll need. So can everybody see me? Hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, so like Emma said, tonight we'll be painting Wonderful Wildflowers, which is a really cute, fun, bright spring painting. Like Emma said, we're getting ready for the warmer weather. We're down here in the south, so it should be coming soon, fingers crossed. So I have my 10 by 10 canvas that I bought at Michael's. I've got palette paper here, which is just what I like to put my paint on, what I like to mix my paint on. So you've got a paper plate or a styrofoam plate, whatever it is at home that you like to use. Paper towels and a water basin for cleaning my brushes. And then tonight I have this great Craft Smart variety set. So I use this one a lot for our Monday night paint nights. As you can see, I probably should upgrade because I use it so much because it's such a great pack that it's maybe seen better days. But again, it's great quality. So I could use these for a long, long time. But anyway, so I've got my Craft Smart variety set. So just grab a few brushes. If you don't have this exact set at home, do not stress about it. We're probably going to use our larger flat brush. We'll definitely be using one of these smaller round brushes. So really, these are the two big ones that you need. I also may use this scruffy brush I have. So this is a scruffy brush that's made by FolkArt, but Michaels has tons of brushes like this. You can see it's a natural fibered brush and it's got a nice, soft, fluffy bristles. And we'll be using this to make the clouds. So if you have something like this, go ahead and pull it out. If you don't stress. I'll show you how to do the clouds with your flat brush as well. But I am going to use this. So if you do something like this, go ahead and grab it now. But if not, like I said, don't worry about it. And then of course, as always, we are going to be using our FolkArt acrylic paints. So the colors we have tonight are medium yellow. So any just bright sunshiny yellow is great. Feel free to substitute any of these colors. Don't stress if you don't have the exact one. I've got baby pink, which is just like the title. French blue, which is this really nice, pretty, warm, light blue color. I have bright pink or hot pink or whatever, just really bright pink color you have. Classic green, Clover, which is this nice medium green color. Classic green works too, they're pretty similar. And I've also got teal or aqua or turquoise, something like that. And then of course I've got white. So titanium white, wicker white, whatever white you have at home is perfectly fine for this. And then I also will mention I've got my hair dryer here too. So I like to dry it a little bit as we go, just to make sure that we can get everything done in just about an hour, because that's the time for the class. So again, grab your hair dryer if you've got one. If not, maybe set up by a fan or something like that. Okay.
So Jesse, quick question before you start.
Yeah.
Someone had a good question. They wanted to know if they had a rectangular canvas, if they should position their canvas vertically or horizontally.
Great question. I would say horizontally. So that way you can do more wildflowers. So instead of having to do your wildflowers really tall, you can just make your field a little bit wider and have a little bit less sky, which I think is actually going to be really pretty.
Alrighty.
Okay. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I am going to grab some of my French blue, which again is just a really pretty light blue color. I'm gonna put some of that on my palette. And then I'm going to grab my flat brush. So I have my 3/4 inch flat brush. A 1-inch flat is good. Anything like this is fine. And I'm gonna pick up just a little bit of paint on my brush, and I'm gonna start at the top, going left and right. And we're just gonna start base coating our canvas. We're gonna make this really pretty sky color. And you never wanna have too much paint on your brush. You wanna have just enough paint on your brush to cover the canvas. So it's better to just kind of, reload your brush. You don't want to just be mopping paint around. So that's kind of a, base coating, of course, is very simple, but just a little tip and trick. It is much easier to not have as much paint on your brush. You have a lot more control over where the paint is going and what the paint is doing. So again, I'm just going back and forth. As you can see, FolkArt acrylic is really great. It has amazing coverage. So as you can see, like, we are just going to be one coat and done. We are not going to have to do a second coat. And that is because we are using the FolkArt acrylics. They just have really, really awesome coverage. They go on so beautifully. They're like really thick and creamy. You can mix with them really great. I mean, I could just go on and on all day about FolkArt acrylic paints. They're just my absolute favorite to work with.
Yeah, and Jessie, so if you don't have French blue, what colors would you suggest to mix to make this lighter, pretty blue color?
So any like regular blue color you have, if you have like an ultramarine or a cobalt or something like that, mix just a touch of that with some white and you'll get a really pretty sky blue color.
Okay, and you're not gessoing the canvas or priming it whatsoever before you start, right?
Yeah, I have not primed my canvas. So most canvases that you buy at the store are already primed. They're primed at the factory. So if you wanted to get rid of some of that texture, you could put some gesso on it or something. But here I'll show you. So of course, before we started painting, our canvas is white, but the natural canvas is this tan color. So you can see we've got this like linen-y color. That's the raw canvas. So the white, it's already been primed. They primed it at the factory, at the manufacturer, before they stretched it onto these stretcher bars. So like I said, most canvases, I believe I don't think I've ever seen any unprimed one at Michael's. I definitely could be wrong, but 95% of the canvases at Michael's come primed. So you don't need to worry about that. Again, like I said, you could always add another coat of primer, another coat of gesso if you wanted it to be like super duper smooth, but I never do.
Yeah, and really, Jessie, with this pretty sky blue color, you could use any of your favorite light blue FolkArt, right?
Absolutely. If it looks like a sky color to you, by all means, use it. All right, so I'm going to hit it with the hairdryer just a little bit. Oh, I should say really quick, as you can see, I did not go all the way down. I went down just maybe 2/3 of the way. And that's because this is going to be green anyway. So I don't need to waste all my paint just filling that in. We're about to paint over it with green. So I went about 2/3 of the way down the canvas. I have kind of a messy raw edge here. I'm not worried about that because again, we're going to be covering it up. So I'm going to go ahead and hit it with my hairdryer. Okay, so I've got it mostly dry now. So we are going to go ahead and start adding some of our greens in. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put some of my Clover onto my palette. And to give it some variety, you can see here behind all the pretty stems and stuff that we'll be painting later, the green is not just a flat green. There's definitely some variety in that green. So to do that, we're also going to be putting some yellow onto our palette. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna grab my 3/4 inch flat brush again. It's plugged in. I know it is, I'm just. I'm gonna use my 3/4 inch flat brush and I'm gonna start painting some clover. And the way I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it kind of loosely. I'm gonna make sure all the water's out of my brush. I'm gonna do it kind of loosely. I'm gonna go up and down doing brush strokes. And the reason I'm doing this is because I really wanna get some texture. So I'm not gonna do it like this guy where I just go back and forth in a big sweeping motion. I'm gonna do little brush strokes to get some of that texture and some of that variation in the greens. So just quick little brush strokes going, kind of just pulling down. And I'm gonna make this a really rough edge too. I'm gonna make it look like there's sort of like grass growing in the background behind our wildflowers. We want it to look like a very wild looking patch, like a little, you know, a little patch of spring flowers that's just growing in a field somewhere. So you can see here, I'm making my edge very irregular. I'm not worried about that being perfect. I do want to cover up any white. So if you had white of the canvas showing, make sure you at least cover that up. You don't have to go very far over the blue, but overlap the blue just a little because you don't want any of that white to show. So again, nothing fancy. You can see I'm being super loose with it, just doing quick little brush strokes all over. And then we're going to start adding some yellow in. So I'm going to pick up some yellow. I haven't cleaned my brush off or anything. I'm going to pick up some yellow and we're just going to do quick little brush strokes to add it into our green. So you can see here, we have really pretty variety now. And you can add green if you feel like mine's getting a little too yellow there. So I'm going to go back with some more green. And again, you just want to have like lots of variety, it creates so many colors of green. You're not just getting yellow and green when you do this. When you kind of like mix on your canvas like this, you get everything in between. You get this pretty clover color and you get the pretty medium yellow color and you get all the beautiful bright greens in between those two colors. So that's why I really like mixing on my canvas for something like this, because you just get such a variety.
And so Jess, if you couldn't find any clover at the store, really any like luscious, kind of earthy not Kelly green, but really earthy
like a
green.
grassy green color, any of that would be fine. Even if you don't have any green, go ahead and mix some yellow and blue. Whatever blue you use for your sky, mix that with some yellow. Whatever you got is fine.
That's a great tip, Jessie. It's like really going back to color theory.
Yeah, totally. You don't have to have green. I mean, really to paint, all you need is red, blue, and yellow and white. And that's basically it. You don't even need black. People always think you need black and you really don't need black. You can darken your colors with any of those, in the color wheel like that. So any of the other colors, purples and oranges and greens, browns even can all be mixed using the primary colors. Just takes a little bit of knowledge.
Yeah, and Shoshana said, will we be using clover green in a few weeks for the St. Patrick's Week painting?
Oh, very good question. I believe we will. Yes, we will. So look out for that.
Yeah,
I guess
definitely.
It's already up on Michael's. I didn't realize it was already posted. But yeah, we're doing a really fun 4-leaf clover painting just in time for St. Patrick's Day. So I'm Irish. I love St. Patrick's Day. So I'm really excited. It's like a really sweet little clover patch with a 4-leaf clover just in time for the holiday.
Yeah, and if you're new to these paint nights, we do one with Michael's every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So make sure, if you love this class, make sure to tune in for the next Monday and for the next Monday after that. We always have some really awesome paintings for you guys.
And we love doing seasonal ones. The seasonal ones are always popular. So we like to do Christmas paintings and, we do lots of fall paintings and summer ones and of course spring paintings and even for St. Patrick's Day and things like that. So make sure to keep an eye out for us on the Michael's Community Classroom calendar. Because like Emma said, we have so much fun doing it. We're here every Monday night. It's either me or Andy Jones or Kirsten Jones. I just realized I'm saying last name. They're not related. Coincidence. Kira's here sometimes painting. Emma has been here painting. So make sure to come back on Monday nights because we always have a blast. Like I said, we're here every Monday night. We rarely miss it. But we just have so much fun.
Yeah. So Jessie, really quick question. Catherine Randall said, I'm trying to find her comment. She said, help, my paints are too thick. How can I make them creamier?
That's a great question. So if your paints are too thick, I personally, maybe they're getting a little dry. Maybe they're a little bit older. Maybe they've been on your shelf for a while. You can go ahead and add just the tiniest bit of water. You don't want to add too much water if you're in a pinch. You can add a little bit of water to help them flow a little bit better. But I would say, like in the future, Catherine, first of all, hey, Catherine, if in the future, if you have paints that are a little bit old, you can add like some extender, like FolkArt extender. or even like sometimes FolkArt floating medium just like keeps it flowing a little bit better. And those are mediums that are used for painting, and they can be used in a variety of ways. Lots of like sort of expert techniques, a little bit more advanced techniques. But they really do just help your paint to flow better. So look out for like maybe some FolkArt extender or FolkArt floating medium the next time you're shopping at Michael's, and grab some of that and mix it into your paints, and that will help them to flow a little bit better if you have maybe some older paints or just some super thick paints.
All right, Jessie, and one more question. A lot of people have this question, so I just wanted to address it. Everyone wants to know, should they be painting the sides of their canvas as they go along tonight?
Great question. Sometimes I forget to mention that. So I never do while I'm painting, but you can absolutely, you can just take the color and go straight onto the sides. And really, I'll be honest with you, the reason I never do it is because I don't want to mess up this table. So this is the table we use for videos, and I don't want to mess it up, but it is such a pretty background. So of course, if you start painting your edges, a good chance you're going to be, squishing it that way and squishing it that way, and you're going to get paint on your table, which hopefully you're painting on some sort of tablecloth or paper or wax paper or whatever it is that you like to, put under your space to keep it clean. But that's kind of why I don't usually do it for videos. Just a little bit of a secret. I'm scared of messing up the table. Yeah, feel free to go ahead and paint them as you go. Any more questions, Em?
One person had, okay, so yeah, they wanted to know how to make their green color a little bit darker. If there's any colors they can add to their green.
Yeah, if you have like a navy, you can make it darker. Or even like if it depends on if you want to make like a deeper, like a deeper, like cool green, you would want to add like some sort of navy color, or like even just a regular blue color. And if you wanted to make like a warm, very deep like green, like make it more like a hunter green, you can add just the tiniest touch of red, and that will really deepen it. That'll be going more in the brown direction. So like I said, it'll be more like an army green or a hunter green, but it will definitely make your green darker. That's
great. And why wouldn't you add just like black, Jessie?
You could add black, and I think a lot of people would add black, but for me, whenever you add black, it mutes your color. So your color is not going to be as pure. When I went to school for painting, and my entire first semester of being a painting major, we were not allowed to buy black. They said, no black in your paintings, don't even buy it, wait till your second semester. And the reason is because I wanted to teach you all the ways to use colors without having to add black. So, darkening your colors by adding red to green and things like that. Adding the, just using different ways, knowledge from the color wheel to know how to make colors different without having to just stick white in it or stick black in it. So yeah, to answer your question, I just don't like adding black because it just mutes my colors. It makes it duller. It will make it darker. So in a pinch, by all means, feel free to add black, but I just usually don't.
That's a great tip, Jess. Thanks.
Sure, no problem.
All right, I think we're ready for the next step.
Awesome. So it's time to start painting our clouds. So this is a really, really fun part. So we're going to add some of our whites to our palette. We just need a little tiny bit, not very much at all. Oops, that was more than I expected. So like I said, I'm going to be using this scruffy brush. This is made by FolkArt, and Michael's has tons of options that look just like this. So again, the important things to note about this brush is that it has natural bristles. So it's not synthetic like most other acrylic brushes are, which are great too. I love synthetic bristles for when I'm painting, but for something like this, I'm looking for a lot of texture. So this one has natural bristles, and you can see how soft it is. It's super soft. It's like a little like pillow. It's just like, it's super soft, and it's really great for painting textures and really soft areas like this. And like I said, this is one that we make, and Michael's has tons of things just like this. So go ahead if you have any sort of natural bristle brush and grab that. Sometimes I'll even use like a chip brush if you have that at home, like if you are into home improvement, or even just use it for like your paintings. Those are super inexpensive. You can get them at Michael's. You can get like, a bag of like 20 of them for like $5 or something, those chip brushes, and those have those natural bristles as well. Sometimes they even like those for painting clouds and things like that, just for like textured areas. But if you don't have it, you can use your flat brush too. I don't know if it was if it was in the supply list. So feel free, you can use your flat brush too. I'm going to show you how to use the scruffy brush first, and then I'll show you how to use the flat brush to create clouds. Okay. So I've got my scruffy brush, and I'm going to put just a tiny bit of white paint on the tip of it. So you can see here, oh, that's too much. I want to start with very little. So you can, if you want to take a look real quick, I have very little paint on, I barely dipped it in the paint. I have very little paint on my bristles. So the less paint, the better for this, just to get started until we kind of get a feel for what the paint's going to be like going onto the canvas. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to start making a cloud, and I'm just really dabbing my brush very gently. You can see the harder you press, the more paint is going to be transferred to your canvas. So just very gently, we're dabbing.
And so just to remind everyone too, Jessie's using a brush that she calls a scruffy brush. And maybe in a second, she can hold it up a little bit closer to the overhead just so everyone can see what those bristles look like. Thanks, Jess. And then afterwards, if you don't mind, Jess, just showing us all how to do the same technique with a flat brush, because I think some people don't have that type of brush at home tonight.
Absolutely. I would love to show you guys how to do that.
And that's a FolkArt, scruffy brush, Jess, right? But I'm pretty sure they have that kind of brush in like Craftsmart, and you just have to look in your craft paintbrush aisle at Michael's.
Yeah, if you're shopping on Michaels.com, just type in, natural bristle brush. If you go into Michaels has an amazing fine art section. So if you walk down their brush aisle, I mean, they have every type of brush you can possibly imagine, for oil painting, for watercolor, for acrylic painting, for mixed media, natural bristles, synthetic bristles. They just really have everything, large, small, like just everything. So, walk down the aisle, take a little peek down there. They have like the highest end quality brushes, and they have some of the more, more economic, reasonably priced brushes. So really just look for anything. This would definitely fall into the more reasonably priced brushes. But just check out that aisle because they have so many options, and you're sure to find something like this. I have several brushes from Michaels that look just like this. That's why I'm using it tonight. But that said, I don't want people to feel like they can't paint along. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna switch to my flat brush. So
sorry, a lot of people are asking, can you use a fan brush with that?
Yeah, totally. Technique. Yeah, if you have a fan brush, by all means, people love, I'm one of them. People love painting clouds with fan brushes. So I have a feeling you probably know how to paint clouds with your fan brush, and that's why you're asking. But if that's what you have at home, please feel free to use that to paint your clouds as well. So really quick, all I'm doing here with my flat brushes, I really want to make sure that it's very dry. So we use this to do our base coating, and then I put it in the water. So it's not terribly dry. So I do want to make sure that I just get as much moisture out of my brush as I possibly can. So I'm just kind of using a paper towel, and I'm just pinching the bristles, trying to like absorb some of that moisture that's sort of low in the bristles to make sure I can get just as much out of there as I can. Because you want a really dry brush for this. Just as dry as we can get it. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put some paint in my brush. And if you look here, I kind of smushed it around a little bit. We want barely any paint in there. So you can see it's still like pretty brown. That's because there's hardly any white paint in it. We want to have hardly any paint in there. So we have this like nice, soft texture I kind of made. I'm kind of doing this pouncing motion with my brush. We have this nice soft tip of our brush now. We're kind of just making your own scruffy brush, which is great. Flat brushes, you can pretty much do anything with. I like really just love flat brushes. I just stick to them for most of my paintings. So I'm kind of smushing it into my paper towels. I just want that really soft sort of organic edge. So if everyone wants to just look really quick, that's what I'm looking for. So we're gonna be doing the same thing. We're just gonna start pouncing this onto our canvas. I barely have any paint in my brush. Like seriously, there's hardly any paint at all. I'm picking up just the tiniest bit as I go. The more paint you have, the less control you'll have over your clouds. And it's gonna start globbing on there, and you're not gonna be able to make them as soft as we want them to look. So it's easier if you start really soft. It's like just a very like small whisper of paint, and then we're gonna kind of build it up into a brighter white so you can see the cloud a little bit better. And I do want to note, if you guys can see, as I go, I'm kind of just trying to imagine, my idea of what the shape of a cloud is. Of course, clouds come in all shapes and sizes. There's so many different kinds of clouds. Depending on, where you live in your climate, you probably see much different clouds than I do. But sort of my idea of a classic cloud is like this long shape with sort of that fluffy middle that kind of peaks in the center. So that's kind of what I'm going for, this flat bottom. I'm sure you guys know what these clouds are called. I do not, so go ahead and pop it in the comments. I'm sure you guys know exactly what kind of cloud I'm painting. Excuse me, but like I said, we're doing this sort of long shape with a flat bottom and then a really fluffy center that sort of peaks in the middle. And again, hardly any paint, just really, really softly tapping our canvas to get this texture. So that's kind of it for my first cloud. And then you can continue just making more clouds as you go.
We have some debate in the comment section of whether these are stratus clouds or cumulus clouds. I think that they might be cirrus clouds or cumulus clouds. I think that they're right with when they said they're stratus clouds.
Really? I was thinking they were cumulus.
I think they're a little, their bottoms are too flat, but I could be
okay.
wrong. Someone said stratus are wispy and feathery. It looks like a good mix of both.
Okay. Good to
But
know.
there's a pretty heated debate over here in the comment section.
Okay, well guys, keep painting. I don't want to distract you from the painting. I just knew somebody always knows the answers to those questions like that. Whenever we're on these Michael's painting classrooms, we always have tons of experts out there who know exactly what we're talking about. I knew you guys would know. So again, I'm just painting more clouds. This is kind of like my focal cloud. Then I'm painting a couple, I'm kind of following my original composition. I'm just painting a couple little guys in the background here. Just again, sort of peaking in the center, and then they're going to be pretty long and flat on the bottom.
And Jessie, is there any good way to correct your painting if you use a little bit too much white in the clouds in the sky?
Totally. So what you can do is you can do the exact same thing that we're doing now, but go back to your French blue and do it over it. So what that'll do is it'll take out, it'll be the same texture, the same sort of softness that we're going for, but it'll break it up by putting blue, kind of covering up with the blue, but like still keeping that pretty texture without having to just go back and paint right over it. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got my little clouds painted in here, and I'm hanging on to this super duper dry brush. I barely put any paint on it. I'm like wiping it off as I go. And what we're gonna do now is create some more just like wispy cloud texture by sort of sticking to the bottoms and just dragging our brush back and forth. So you can see here, we're getting this really pretty, like wispy, fluffy cloud look. I just sort of, again, hardly any paint in my brush. You can see that you can barely even see the paint going on. That's how little paint there is. But you are getting sort of a really soft, dry brush look in the sky here, in these clouds, which is what we're going for. It makes them look like long, sort of stringy cotton candy clouds.
And I'm looking at people painting along with you tonight, Jessie. Everyone's painting looks really, really awesome tonight.
Yay, I'm so glad to hear that.
Clouds, some gorgeous fields of grass.
Awesome, guys. I love that. I hope you guys are having fun. That's the most important part.
They all look great.
Awesome. So you can see here, I'm going to hold it up so you guys can see a little better. I've got those really soft wisps. It almost looks like we're painting the wind or something. Like the clouds are being blown around in like a breezy spring day. So just really, really soft white dry brushing over the sky, around the clouds, just give it a little bit more interest. Just so soft. And again, I'm just sticking left and right. I'm not really going up and down. This is kind of the look I'm going for, just this really wispy, breezy cloud look. Oops. Okay, so that looks good to me. Maybe add a little bit more fluff.
And while you're painting that, Jess, I just want to remind everyone, once you're finished with your painting, if you decide to post it on social media, make sure to hashtag plaid crafts and hashtag make it with Michaels. We're always looking through those hashtags, seeing what you guys are making. And Jessie might just look at it herself. And also, if you are on Facebook, make sure to go to our Facebook group, Let's Paint with Plaid. And Jessie's always active on there. I'm active on there. Like she said in the beginning, we have a lot of really awesome artists that are constantly encouraging everyone, liking everyone's paintings. Everyone's giving each other really great tips and tricks on how to improve their skills. So make sure you check that out. If you are new to painting, if you've been painting for decades, it's a great community for everyone.
Yeah, definitely. That's my favorite part. I always say this. My favorite part about these Monday night paint nights is getting on Tuesday morning and seeing everybody post their paintings and getting in a comment and tell you guys all how beautiful they are. That's like the highlight of my week. So please make sure if you're a member to post your paintings there, and if you're not, go ahead and join so you can post, because I would absolutely love to see them.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm kind of finished with my clouds. So if you're still going, that's okay. Just kind of take your time. You can always go back and add some more clouds later. But I'm going to go ahead and start on my flowers. So my green, I have a good bit of paint on there, so it's still pretty wet. So before I start painting my flowers, I'm going to go ahead and hit it with the hairdryer. I was kind of hoping it'd be dry by the time I finish my clouds, but it's not, and that's okay. So I'm going to dry it real quick. My paint is nice and dry to the touch now. Okay, so we're gonna start painting. You can see here we have all these really pretty, like stringy stems and long pieces of grass in this painting, and there's lots of different beautiful varieties of green. So we want to make sure we have all of the greens we need on our palette. So really quick, just make sure you have the following colors on your palette. We're gonna need yellow, green, white, and also like the teal or turquoise or aqua or whatever it is that you are going to be using for this particular color. So I have aqua tonight. So again, you're going to need to have white, green, yellow, and aqua on your palette for painting these little grasses and stems. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab my number 5 round brush. So anything that looks like this is totally fine. So just like a small to medium round brush. We have like a liner brush or something that will work. We're going to be using this to start painting our stems. So I'm going to start with just our regular green color. And it's going to show up because we started sort of blending our background color with yellow. So the flat green will show up fairly well. It'll blend in a little bit, but that's okay. We're going to have a lot of layering and a lot of overlapping and a lot of different greens going on down here. So I'm going to start by putting some paint on my brush. And as you can see here, look what I'm doing on my palette. I'm sort of twirling my brush in the paint. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want to keep a really pointy tip on my brush. So if I smush it down, my brush gets kind of wider and I don't get that nice sharp tip that I'm looking for. So I'm kind of putting my brush in the paint and then I'm twirling it. I want to keep that really nice point to my brush. So we're going to start by starting at the bottom. I'm going to start on the left side because I'm right-handed. So if you're left-handed, you might want to start on the right side and go to the left, just like if you're writing. But I'm right-handed, so I'm going to start on the left side and then go right. So I'm going to start on the left side and I'm going to pull up. So it's kind of blend in at first, just because this color is going to be so similar. But I'm going to pull up. You might want to add a little bit of water if you feel like your paintbrush is dragging. Sometimes you need to add a little bit of water when you're using a liner brush like this. But grab some paint and pull up. I'm just using the very tip of my brush. And I want to get that nice wispy top. So that nice sort of sharp blade of grass look. Pull up. You might need to add a little bit of water. Mine's dragging a little bit. It's a little bit dry here in Atlanta right now. I guess it's actually not. It's pretty wet outside. I don't know why my paint is drying. As I was saying, I was like, it is not dry here. What am I talking about?
Jessie, would you mind showing off the size of your brush real quick?
Oh yeah, this is a number 5 round brush. So anything that looks like this is good. But again, we're just pulling up, and it's kind of hard to see here because it's blending with my green pretty well because it's a very similar color. But in real life, you're seeing like the difference in texture. So then we're going to add a little bit of aqua so you guys can start seeing that. So I'm going to pull up. I'm going to mix some aqua. I'm going to grab some green and some aqua and mix those two together to get a different variation of green. So I did 1 part green and 1 part aqua. And I'm going to keep pulling up.
And you're starting from the bottom, going to the top.
Correct. Starting the bottom, going to the top, and I'm starting the left side, but that's just because I'm right-handed. So if you're right-handed, start on the left side. If you're left-handed, start on the right side. Just however it's easier for you.
If you don't mind, just once you're done with this brush stroke, just holding your painting up a little bit to the camera, just so we can see what you've done. Yeah, that's good.
So just really fine, using the very tip of my brush. And you can see, we're not going to start at the base every time. Sometimes we're going to sort of start up here, and sometimes we're going to start down here and go up. And the reason we want to do that is because we want it to look like there's variety in where the grass starts. We don't want it to look like there's a line of grass here that all grew up in front of the background. We want it to look like there's some grass growing back here and some grass growing up in the front. We want it to look like there's a variety, like it's growing wild all over this field. What'd you say, Em?
I said it looks like it has a lot of dimension to it.
Yeah, that's what we're looking for. We want some perspective. We want some dimension. We don't want it to just be like one wall of grass and flowers. You want it to be like it's, you know, like a big field that you're seeing some in the distance. So you can do some taller. You can make your, you know, keep in mind, these are going to end up being flowers. So you can kind of make them as tall as you'd like. If you want like super tall wildflowers, go for it. If you want them to be a little bit lower, if that's your preference, then that's fine too. But don't forget, we mixed 1 part aqua and 1 part green to get this pretty, sort of, it's almost like an emerald color.
And Jessie, someone tonight said that you are very brave for painting in that white denim jacket.
Thank you very much. I was saying to Emma, I was actually just wearing this t-shirt today, but I got kind of chilly in the studio. So this is a project that we just did. So, you know, check out, we have really awesome inspiration on our Plaid Crafts Facebook page and Instagram and TikTok and everything. And this is actually a project that we will be posting on one of those. There's something really cute on the back. I don't want to show you guys a spoiler. You have to go to our social media channels and check it out. But one of our content creators painted something really fun on the back of this, and I stole it today because I was cold. So
yeah, and Blake asked a great question. Do you guys have a YouTube? We do have a YouTube. It's Plaid Crafts, the same as all of our most of our other social media channels. So definitely check us out on YouTube. And
yeah,
all of our, yeah, I was just about to say, Jessie, every month at Plaid, Jessie, usually Jessie, but sometimes Kirsten Jones, sometimes Andy Jones. It is weird now that we just realized for the rest of
I don't know why we never noticed that. It's so bizarre until I started saying it. I was like, what?
The first Thursday of every month at 7:30, we go live in our Facebook group. Jessie showcases a monthly painting, and then afterwards, it is logged onto our YouTube, so you can watch it at your own leisure. And that YouTube is Plaid Crafts, and we already have a great variety, a great gallery of existing paintings on there. So go check that out if you run out of Michael's classes to watch, which would probably be hard to do.
I was about to say there's probably more Michael's classes we have on there now than we have on our own channel, even though there's absolutely dozens. Yeah, we kind of started this, you know, when Michael started doing their online community classes, we were so lucky. They reached out to us and they invited us to come do some craft classes. We were doing tie-dye this summer and Mod Podge and all kinds of awesome stuff. And then they were like, hey, like you guys, you know, we always did the once a month paint night on our channels. They were like, hey, you guys do paint night? Do you want to come do paint night for us every week? And we were like, yes, that sounds so fun. So of course we are so lucky to be here. We're so grateful to Michael's for letting us come and get to just share our paint with you and share our love of painting and just help inspire you guys every single Monday night. So we absolutely love it. And we are so grateful to Michael's for having us and letting us do even more classes than we would have done already right here on their channel. So everybody gets to see.
Absolutely. I mean, this is like one of the coolest parts of our job is being able to like be live with you guys, interacting with you all, doing a painting. It feels like we're all together. So it's pretty awesome.
It really is. It's so fun, especially these days. It's nice to feel like we're all together.
Absolutely.
As you guys can see, I'm just continuing to paint this grass. I'm trying to be pretty careful, but like my lines aren't perfectly straight, and that's okay because, you know, in nature, your wildflowers wouldn't just be all perfectly stick straight like little soldiers. They would be kind of blowing in the wind, and some of them would be a little crooked or a little bit, you know, diagonal. So that's okay. Even if some cross over here and there, that's totally fine. You want it to be a little bit organic looking and almost a little bit random. So don't stress if you don't feel like yours. I know people really stress out about painting straight lines. So don't stress here because that's not what this is supposed to be. This is supposed to be very loose and very organic, just all going in the same general direction. So again, I'm putting very little pressure on my canvas. I'm just very lightly grazing the canvas. Again, I'm trying to keep my sharp tip on my brush. I keep twirling my brush on my palette to make sure I have that nice pointy tip. And I'm just continuing to fill up my canvas. We're gonna go back and add more colors. If you feel like it's just like very green right now, we need to add some variety. Don't worry, we are going to do that as soon as we finish sort of this first row of these sort of emerald stems and grasses. How's everybody on? Do we have any regulars out there?
I saw Catherine Randall. You know, I'm not a total regular on these Monday nights, so I know Catherine, but some of these other names are new to me, but I'm excited to be here.
We're happy to have you, Anne.
Yeah.
Well, hey, Catherine, I'm sure we've got tons of familiar faces and brand new people. We love having new people on these Monday night classes. So tell your friends, like you can totally, you know, share the link with your friends and hop on, and, you know, whether you're near to them or far, it's really fun. You guys can just do like a virtual hangout. You know, you can text or you can stay on the phone while you're watching this class live together. It's kind of, you know, a good option these days. It's kind of a nice way to stay in touch and interact with friends and do something really fun.
Absolutely.
All right. So I kind of finished filling that in. You can see I started in different heights and I made them go up, you know, in different heights as well. But I have it pretty full. It's a nice full area of grass and wildflower stems. But I'm going to continue to add some more greens because I really want to have a variation in the colors. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick up some of my yellow. So I've got, you can use daffodil yellow or medium yellow or sunshine yellow, whatever it is you have. And I'm going to put just the teeniest bit of yellow on the tip of my brush. I have the same brush, still using my number 5 round, just a teeniest bit of paint on the tip. And I'm just going to go and I'm going to follow some of the stems I already made just here and there and give a little streak of yellow, just kind of giving it, like I said, some variety and making it just brighter in some areas, kind of brightening it up and making it look a little bit different and giving it just some more detail. So just here and there, I'm adding a little bit of yellow. I'm not even necessarily doing the whole blade of grass, just like pieces here and there. It just really brightens up the whole field.
Frida said, just texted a friend of mine with a snapshot of the artwork going on. Fun.
Oh, love that. Make sure you invite your friend next time. We're going to be back here next Monday.
Absolutely.
Every Monday. Send them the Michael's link, have them register and join you.
Yeah. This is a great like virtual date night, virtual girls night, virtual whoever night. A great way
to
just
a family night. I mean, you can do so many, you know, this is just great for a great way to, like I said, spend time with people these days. It's hard, of course, to see people with what's going on with everyone. So, you know, it's a great way to kind of kick back with somebody virtually and do something fun.
Absolutely. And it's kind of like going to see a movie. Like if you have like the first date jitters and you don't really want to talk to the person that much, you don't have to talk as much because you're watching a movie. This way you're painting and you don't have to
watching me paint. You don't have to talk as much. I love that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny, Emma. All right, guys. Okay, so we've got our medium green and darker green, and we've got our light yellow here. So we are going to go ahead and we're going to start my favorite part, which is painting the flowers. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put some of the flower colors on my palette. So I've already got yellow, so make sure you have yellow. I've already got aqua, so make sure you've got aqua or teal or turquoise or whatever you're using. I've already got white, make sure you have white. But then I'm also going to grab my bright pink or hot pink, whatever it is you've got, and my baby pink. So go ahead and add 2 pinks. If you only have 1 pink, do not stress. If you want to do completely different colored flowers than me, that's fine too. You can do all different color flowers than what I'm doing here. It's totally up to your imagination.
Awesome. And Jessie, just a reminder for everyone, so far for the grass, you used a little bit of Clover, some of your yellow paint, you mixed some Clover and some aqua together to make those blades of grass. So
yep, sure did.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to do a little bit of mixing really quick. So I'm just going to grab one of my small flat brushes just because I like these for mixing, but you can use whatever brush you want for mixing. So the first color we're going to mix is we're going to make some purple. So actually make sure you've got your French blue. I forgot to say that. Make sure you grab some French blue so we can make a nice little lavender color. So I'm going to pick up some French blue, 1 part French blue and 1 part of my bright pink. And we're going to make a really pretty purpley lavender color. Look how pretty that is. Oh, that's so cute for spring. So again, that was French blue and bright pink. We have a really pretty lavender. So I'm going to mix some of that so I can kind of have it ready on my palette for painting some purple flowers. And then I also want to, oh, go ahead.
Sorry, what size brush are you going to use for your flowers? People are kind of getting ahead of you, I think.
Oh, I'm not going to use a brush. So just hang on. Getting ahead of me. So really quick, we're just gonna, I promise, I know everybody's excited. I'm excited too. That's my favorite part, but really quick, we're gonna do a little bit more mixing, just one more color, I think. Yeah, one more color. So I've got my purple here, and then I'm going to mix some of my yellow and white. So I just want a paler version of my yellow. So yellow and white.
I love this painting too, Jessie, because it's so customizable. You can really use any colors that you want for the flowers, for the sky. You could do like orange and red and make a sunset in the sky. That would be really pretty.
I love that idea. That'd be really pretty. Absolutely. This could be like a wintry painting, you know, and just paints like all blues and silvers, or it can be spring or summer, or it's endless. You could do this with fall with like reds and browns and oranges. Oh my gosh, that'd be so pretty. I mean, I know you don't have wildflowers any other time of year, but it's just your imagination.
Emily had a cute idea. She said it'd be cute to put some little Easter eggs in the grass.
Oh my gosh, I love that idea. That'd be adorable. I love that idea. That's so cute. If you do that, make sure to tag us because I want to see it.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So it's the final part. It's the most fun part. We're gonna be painting all these really sweet little wildflowers. So just as a reminder, I mixed some of this pretty purple. I've got some baby pink. I've got some bright pink. I mixed this pale yellow, and then I also have my bright yellow. So those are the colors you're going to be using. We're going to kind of be interchanging them. That's why I wanted to go ahead and have them all ready on my palette before I start painting. So to answer your question from a minute ago, someone said, what brush are we using for our flowers? And I said we're not using a brush, which is kind of a fib. We are using a brush, but we're not using the bristles of the brush. So what I mean by that is we're going to be using the end of the brush to make all these little dots to make it look like really delicate little miniature random flowers all in our field. So there's going to be like sort of a few different shapes of flowers that I'm going to show you how to do. As you can see here, they're not just all the same shape. So you want to kind of keep an eye out for that. I'll go ahead and I'll show you each shape to start with, and then I'll kind of just let you like run wild and go loose and just make the shapes wherever you want them to be. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and we are going to grab our, again, I've got my little brush here. I've got my brush end. I'm going to pick up some of my pale yellow. And what I'm going to do with my pale yellow, I'll hold it up because it's so tiny so you guys can see. Can you see that,
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to start anywhere. You can start at the top of the stem. It doesn't matter. I'm going to start by painting, just dotting really. It's like stamping a little star of dots. Do 5 little dots here. So you can see those 5 little dots.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to wipe it off a little. And I'm going to do one of my bright yellow, just the pure yellow dots in the center. So you've got like a little bit of a daisy shape. So you guys see that one?
Yes.
It was just 5 pale yellow dots and then a bright yellow dot in the center to make this little daisy shape.
And Jessie, we have a bunch of resourceful artists in the crowd tonight. Mary said, or you could use the end of a Q-tip, and someone else said they use cheap wooden skewers to do their flowers.
Love that idea. So many different ways you can do it. They even make like dotting tools now for like making mandalas and things like that. You can buy at Michael's. You know, you can use stylus if you have that. You can use the tip of a pencil if you want, like, and just, you know, clean it off for writing later. There's so many things you can use for stuff like this. So just let your imagination run wild and just be resourceful. Use whatever you have. Okay, so that's our first little flower. And now I'm going to pick up some baby pink and do the same thing. 5 little dots with my baby pink in sort of a little star shape. I'm going to wipe it off just a little bit. Oops, I just got paint everywhere. And then I'm going to do a bright pink dot in the center. So again, a little pink daisy shape. So just like that. So those 2 are kind of matching, but just 2 different variations of that shape of flower. And then another one I'm going to do in my painting, I'm going to grab my bright pink and I'm going to do 3 dots in a little circle. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to wipe it off a little bit. And of course you can kind of go back and do all pinks and then all blues and then all purples, you know, and add the details. You don't have to wipe it off each time. This is just for, to show you guys. And then I pick up my bright yellow and I'm going to do a dot in the center of that. Another little variation of flower. And then there's a couple more. I did some aqua flowers too. So I'm going to grab some aqua. And for those, I just did like, oops, that was way too much aqua. I did like 2 little dots next to each other. So just like a little, like little buds maybe, just for, again, more variation. And then I also did the same thing with some yellow. So I did like some little yellow buds here and there just to brighten it up and give it some more detail. And then the last flower I'm going to show you is my favorite one. So this one's kind of like lavender, or like maybe like there's maybe snapdragons they're called. Those like tall purple flowers, but I'll show you on one of these here. You're going to do 3 dots up one side, 1, 2, 3, and then 3 dots up the other side, 1, 2, 3, and then a dot at the top and a dot at the bottom to make those really cute, like tall. Is it snapdragon, Em?
Yes, I think you're right. Right, it is.
Okay, I should have looked it up. I never do. But just really cute little snapdragons. So we're gonna just, again, these are the shapes that I'm gonna use. Feel free to do your completely own variety of flowers. You know, let your imagination run wild, do all your own different shapes and colors. But I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna continue with sort of these style of flowers here. And I'm gonna paint them all over my field. You still there?
Yes.
Okay, something weird, just there's a weird sound on my phone, so I want to make sure that I didn't lose you.
Nope, I'm here.
Okay, so I'm going to start by painting some of these petals for my little yellow daisy shape. And again, like I said, I'm going to go through and I'm going to do like one color at a time just for efficiency's sake, so I don't have to wipe off my brush every time, just to make it quicker.
And Jessie, we have a lot of people who know way more about flowers than we do.
It doesn't surprise me because I don't know very much at all about flowers.
Some people are saying lavender. I apologize if I pronounce this wrong. Some people are saying hyacinths. Is that how you say that flower?
I've heard of that, yes. That must be how you say it. I was thinking maybe lavender, yeah. What is a snapdragon then? Tell us, guys. Am I just like making that up?
Is that from
Why
like
do me and Emma both think
we've
that?
read? Yeah. No, just kidding. We know that's a real flower.
Wait, what did you say?
I said, is that from like a fantasy book we've both read? Or
Oh. Yeah, no, I think it's a real flower. I don't really know, but for some reason we both think it. So there's got to be some truth to it.
Jessie, Kathleen said, this is my favorite painting class since I started following these classes. The design is beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad you have that. This is like just one of those really fun, like non-stressful ones. Like you just like really can't mess it up. You know, like,
and it's so
I don't think you can ever mess up paintings. Like that's just my opinion. I feel like, you know, you can make any painting beautiful. But this one is especially easy to not mess up.
It's really pretty too, Jess. I mean, I've been here since the start of all these paint nights. I've been working at Plaid, and I think that this painting, Jessie, is definitely in my top 3 favorite paint night paintings.
No way. Thanks,
Yeah.
Em.
I think it's so pretty. I would totally hang this in my house. I'm definitely going to do it.
Oh, thanks, Emma.
You're welcome.
And I'm just adding the bright yellow to the center of each of these daisies, guys, just to keep you in the loop.
And Jess, someone said they missed the way you painted your quote unquote favorite flower. Would you mind showing us when you get to paint another one of those?
Yeah, totally. I'll do it right now. Okay. So I've got the light purple that I mixed, and I'm going to find one of my little stems or branches or whatever. I'm going to go 3 down on one side, and then 3 down on the other side, and then 1 dot on the top and 1 dot on the bottom, which is apparently a hyacinth. So I'm learning.
And Jessie, Bianca said they planted snapdragons yesterday, so they're definitely real.
Thank you, Bianca. Thank you for validating that for us.
Yeah.
You're definitely real. I love that. That's awesome. Did it look like this, or did we make this shape up? What did it look
know
like?
a little bit more about the Snapdragon.
I'm so curious. As soon as this class is over, I'm gonna go Google them for sure. I don't know why I just made that up in my head. Like, what even are they? But I just love wildflowers. I mean, I just think they're so pretty. I just love the idea of them. Like when you're driving on the highway and you just look out the window and they're just like a whole field of just color. I just think that's the most beautiful and fun idea.
You know, I feel like some people like wildflowers because they're so pretty, and other people don't like wildflowers because they're intruding on their gardens and stuff. It's really like someone's trash is another person's treasure kind of deal.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point, Em. So I'm going ahead and I'm doing these little like pairs of aqua dots that are just kind of like little buds or something. This one's kind of a made up one. This one's not really based on any specific flower.
Okay, and someone gave us a lot of information. They said, just wanting to spare you the Google search, you were almost right. Snapdragons have a more colorful range, like reds and yellows, but they have larger flowers in the same shape, like the kind of like the one you did.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. And so Amy wanted to know, are you painting buds on every single stalk of grass?
I am not. No, I'm kind of like trying to like stay on a stalk here and there so my flowers aren't just like floating in midair. But I'm definitely not painting on every single one. Like when I do paint one, I'm like, oh, maybe I should do one here. I try to like stick to a line, if that makes any sense at all.
Yeah.
But definitely not on every single one. That would be a lot of flowers.
Okay.
That might be too many flowers, too much clustered together.
Right. And whenever you get a chance, would you mind holding the painting up a little closer?
Totally. And you can kind of like focus all your flowers towards the top if you want it to look more like they're all growing out of the tops of the stems. I'm kind of just putting them everywhere. So there's like grasses and stems and long and tall flowers and short flowers. Mine's like a little bit random, but again, it's your painting. You can make it however you think is beautiful.
It's looking really awesome, Jess.
Thanks, Em. So you guys, I might just let it go there. Feel free. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start putting my yellow dots in the centers of these pink flowers here. But Emma, if you want to go ahead and pick a winner.
Yeah,
I think it's time. While I'm doing this.
Please. Let's see. Okay. So our winner tonight is, and I'm so sorry if I pronounce your name wrong, Noemi Reyes. So definitely congratulations for winning our giveaway tonight. Definitely go to our Facebook page at Plaid Crafts and send us a direct message. Let us know that you won our giveaway for tonight's paint night. And then we will get all your info down and send you some really awesome plaid goodies. So congratulations and thanks so much for joining us tonight. We definitely hope to see you again.
Thanks, guys. Like we said, we're here every Monday night at 8 p.m. Thank you so much for painting these wonderful wildflowers with us. Like I said, we're excited for spring. Don't forget about our Plaid Crafts Facebook page. We'd love to see you there. Or I'm sorry, our Let's Paint with Plaid Facebook page, but also our Plaid Crafts Facebook page. We're always putting out inspiration, so check that out too. And yeah, we will see you guys next Monday, same time. Bye.
Bye.